Welcome back, everyone, to this, the grand final for the girls' division for the New Zealand Secondary Schools Ultimate Championships. It has all come down to this. Hutt Valley High School facing off against Epsom Girls Grammar from Auckland. My name is Blair Munro. I'm here with SkysportNext, the Stream Shop, and proud support from St. John to bring you this. Two of the best girls' teams in the country at the secondary school level as they face off. Hutt Valley High versus Epsom Girls Grammar. And after this, we'll have the grand final for the Open Division. Another rematch between Auckland Grammar and Shirley Boys High. There is no denying the energy that Hutt Valley High School is bringing to this final match. They put on some fantastic performances for us already. This will be Epsom Girls Grammar, their first appearance on our live stream. We could not ask for better conditions in beautiful Crown Park in sunny Taupo. It really is going to be a fantastic match. Hutt Valley High School playing out of the white uniforms. Epsom Girls Grammar out of the blue and yellow. Epsom Girls Grammar not allowing the Hutt Valley energy to go unanswered. You heard the declaration made by Epsom, intent on victory. Rah, 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 who are we? Epsom to victory. A bold claim against Hutt Valley High School, who have put in a commanding performance when we've seen them during this tournament. There's a superstition in boxing that the match can be decided before the first punch is thrown, as we see the kind of energy that people bring into the ring. We have two fierce, powerful sides from these school teams coming out onto our field. Five-a-side. The game will be starting any moment now. Looks like Epsom will be first to come out on defense. Some last-minute support from their coach. Hutt Valley already taking the line. We can hit the call for Chili O. Just a reminder that everyone on offense should remain as calm as possible. The first pull of the game for our final match in the girls' division of the Secondary School Ultimate Championships has begun. Hutt Valley High School using a couple of quick give-and-go passes to move the disc up the field. Grant on the near sideline. Finding Claridge up big. Beautiful Hutt going up top. Great read and positioning by Nakazono, but huge pressure coming in from Clark for Epsom for the defense. Great first efforts we're going to see here. Emma Whitlock to pick up the disc in the near side defensive corner. Great movement of the disc to the far sideline now. Botting with a big shot up into space. Beautifully received. Catherine Fulton with the score to put Epsom on the board. This, ladies and gentlemen, friends at home, is what the sport of ultimate is all about. Yes, there is a spirit of competition, but there is something innate to throwing a disc to someone that you've trained with, that you've practiced with, that you go to school with, seeing that disc up in the air and just giving everything in pursuit of it. To cast aside any stresses and just give yourself over to the sheer pleasure of chasing down a disc. We're going to see Epsom Girls Grammar come out on defense yet again. Hutt Valley High School. Some great contenders. But that initial momentum of coming out on offense may have been disrupted. We're going to see how they're able to get their heads back in the game. It can be a little bit of a shock to a system, conceding the first point of a game, but we've seen such determination and strength of will from Hutt Valley High. And we're going to see more of it now as they come out on offense. Mather, number 22. Very active defense that we're seeing, but an undercut allows Hutt Valley to fire off a big shot. Pinned down on the sideline. A question as to whether or not the disc was actually fielded inbounds or not. It could be a case of Mather's momentum carrying her out of the field, but we'll have that discussion first. Whitlock, number 4 for Epsom, making a contribution. And just a reminder that as we play our 50-minute game of Ultimate today, five-a-side, that it is a self-officiated sport. There are no referees. And so it is players' responsibility to learn the rules, make any calls, and resolve them by communicating amongst themselves. So it looks like the resolution was that Mather was in when she secured control of the disc. The game is currently a race to 15. Gregory with a nice forehand at the far side finds Bowen just at the doorstep of scoring. A beautiful score by Hutt Valley to answer Epsom's first break of the game. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see that again. Zara Bowen, big fake, looking to shift Whitlock on the mark. A push pass of all things, the coach killer to Langridge for the score. A great start to this first game, hotly contested. We are going to see some very, very clean, exciting ultimate during this match. The Epsom girls mascot, some quadrupedal mammal of indescribable origin. Claridge with the pull for Hutt Valley High. Great undercut despite the pressure from Hutt Valley High, able to be kept in the hands. Resets to Clark, who finds Botting. A bit of pressure on that. Bit of pressure from the defense, rather. Generating a turn for Hutt Valley. Langridge with a big shot up the far sideline. Goes out of bounds. It will be brought back in where the disc left the field. So Epsom will take possession where we last saw the disc infield. We're going to see Clark bring the disc in on the far sideline. Botting is the support looking to initiate something for the offense. Finds it. Long shot up the far sideline. Great work there. Berry resetting. Finds Colby. Straight through. A little bit of miscommunication. Saw a great cut from Botting developing in the end zone, but not able to communicate the intention there. Langridge with the disc. Great defensive pressure from Epsom, generating another turn. Clark to field. That reset option shut down by extreme defensive pressure there. Finds Colby. Manages to reset. Passing the disc back to Clark. Colby puts a big shot up. Falling just outside the back of the end zone. Hutt Valley with a great opportunity. We know they've got the throws to cover this field. We know they've got the legs and the speed. But Epsom are also a very, very fantastic team, working together incredibly well to pour on that defensive pressure. Langridge finding Espartero. Great forehand across the front of the mark. A big forehand shut down at the other end by Hannah Clark. Botting and Berry working the disc up the field. Clark to Berry on the far sideline, 15 meters out. A nice attempt at an overhead. Putting Hutt Valley in their defensive corner. A great position for Epsom to be in. But Langridge has those big throws. We've seen them before. Nakazono, a run through D from Clark over Elliott. Great grabs we're seeing from Epsom. Very secure hands. Clark with a high shot. Chased down. Berry unable to track it. We are entering, or closing out rather, the 10th minute of the game for our grand final for the girls division between Hutt Valley High School and Epsom Girls Grammar. Hutt Valley to take possession at the front of their end zone. Bowen with the disc, finding Claridge. To Grant with a big cut across the front of the defense. Great forehand. Huge pressure from Epsom. Great pressure from Colby and following down to make sure that Hutt Valley aren't able to regain possession. Botting a slash cut across the front of the disc to find it approaching the far sideline. Clark with a short but controlled pass to Berry for a great score as Epsom go up by 1. 2-1 against Hutt Valley High School.
If you're ready, put your hand up.
Epsom to come down on defense. Pulling just beyond the halfway mark. Nice time. Whitlock initiating the defense. Huge pressure on that mark, but Hutt Valley break around, find Zarabo on far sideline. Oh, Elliott with the disc, sorry. Great reception there by Gregory. Working back that far sideline to find Grant. You can just tell from the amount of energy on display by both sidelines, the cheering, the support. It is not limited to just the 5 players from each team on the field. The entire team is invested in this. Epsom working the disc now. Targeting their near sideline. A close bid by Hutt Valley. Nearly gets it. Great high shot. Looks like that has been called in. As Epsom go up 3-1 over Hutt Valley. We're going to see that again. A nice high edge forehand. Just to curve around the defense. Great vertical leap there by Tessa Swinson for that score. Supportive leadership, taking a knee on the field, just making sure that the Epsom girls don't take this 2-point advantage and get ahead of themselves. It's still a close game. These are the two strongest teams we've seen in this tournament for the girls division. The first team to let their foot off the gas will find any lead they have slipping away. So yes, while it is a wonderful sport, there is something joyful about the competition inherent to it. Mather with the disc. We've seen some great work from her this tournament. Great initiation cuts, consistent throws. Huge pressure from Clark to generate the turn there for Epsom. With 15 minutes into the game, we've played a total of 4 points so far. Long points like this just means both teams are playing great defense. Botting and Clark trying to stretch the defense, spread it apart. Suar with the disc. Resets to Clark. A nice laser beam up the field. To Berry. Great work by Epsom to move that disc. Pulled down. Kept in bounds for another score as Epsom go up by 1. 4-1, Georgia Brown pulling that disc. We're going to see that again. Despite the coverage from the huge defensive pressure that we've seen on display from Hutt Valley, Epsom able to pull that one away and establish a strong but not insurmountable lead as we move into the 6th point of the game. Epsom sending up the pull, fielded by Grant. Gregory, Claridge working the disc quickly up the field. Contact on that block, which is a foul. We're seeing some signaling from the other players on the field. So a foul, the players have uncontested that, so they both agreed that a foul occurred. Sundar on the far sideline. Whitlock covering a great upline cut by Claridge. Great movement. A little bit of miscommunication there about the stall count, but Claridge finds one up line. Whitlock with a good block there. Just solid read on that. And another foul. Looks to have been, again, contact on the throw. Huge pressure that we're seeing. Huge pressure from the Hutt Valley defense, force an option. But they're able to keep it alive, threading it through. A little bit of that end zone fever, maybe rushing as the momentum all pushes down to the far side of the field, the offensive attacking zone. So Hutt Valley with an opportunity now. Gregory to Claridge. Langridge now getting involved. Big forehand goes up. A lot of float underneath it. Plenty of time to get there. Great chase there from Elliott. Great work by Epsom targeting the near sideline. Continuation goes a little bit away. Langridge to pick up the disc. Claridge with a big shot. A lot of pressure from Botting. And Espartero goes up for it. But it comes off the fingertips. Epsom to take offense now. Great pressure on that defense. Forcing the Epsom girls to get very, very busy to take some very narrow throws. Huge forehand, a little bit of turnover. Great attempt to keep it alive. Not quite enough. Hutt Valley to take possession now. And again, with the pressure that we've seen from the Hutt Valley defense, pouring on huge amounts of pressure, forcing very, very tight, narrow windows. Again, one of the key skills in Ultimate is the ability to... Oh, a pick has been called. So where there was potential pursuit interference from a defender not being able to follow their player because of the movements or another player or attempting to avoid body contact, a stoppage occurs and the player is allowed to catch up to where they think they reasonably would have been had the pick not occurred. So the disc will be checked in again. Checked in by Tessa Swinson with Grant. Gemma Grant for Hutt Valley High. Great big high shot. And Whitlock says not today. So again, those tight, narrow windows highlights the importance of being able to move the mark, to shift the person defending you, to create more openings. That's something that really does come with confidence with the disc that we're seeing a lot from our Epsom girls here today, as well as our Hutt Valley girls. Some great movement up the field there. But it cannot be overstated the benefit of having quality throwing teaching. So again, a hat tip to Jamie Erickson, who put together JET. Jamie Erickson throwing a one-of-a-kind specialized throwing program designed to help increase the confidence with the disc and the mechanics of the throwing, make them fundamental, really bring them all in. Pulling everything together. A beautiful forehand going up. Field just a little bit on the long side for that one to become a completion. But JET, absolutely worth checking out if you're looking to up your throws and up your game. Botting there. Mather near sideline. Good fakes, hoping to shift the defense just that little bit. Great shot over the top to Langridge. Opportunity for an instant continuation. Doesn't take it. Finds Claridge with a slash cut across to the opposite corner of the zone. A great score, a necessary score for Hutt Valley High School as they go 2-4 against Epsom Girls Grammar. Hutt Valley High School showing that you cannot make an omelette without breaking a couple of eggs. Still anybody's game. Clark to initiate. Great forehand up the far sideline now. Great pressure there. Clean defense from Hutt Valley High School to generate a turn at about the halfway mark. A big forehand goes up, getting underneath it. A little bit much fade. Some great defensive boxing out by Clark for Epsom. Generates the turn back the other way. Fantastic efforts by Guevara Benet. Sua and Clark in that handler space. Big forehand up the far sideline. Just a little bit too far there. So the disc will come back in where it left the field. So it's a little bit of a territorial gain here for Hutt Valley as they look to start that again. Just getting some confirmation as to where that should come through. Mather, center field. A nice forehand, a lot of blade. Just a little bit of wind starting to pick up, starting to interfere with some of those discs. Clark and Sue are back for Epsom in their handler space. The handlers being the players with maybe the more confident throws. Very quick for the first few steps. Really good at working into space and creating openings for the other players to exploit. And Clark again doing a lot of work here for this Epsom girls side and trying to just maintain possession while the downfield cutters create an opening to throw to. Exactly like that one. Beautiful option there. Trying to find Berry. Doesn't come away, which is absolutely fine. Epsom will make themselves get another chance, but Hutt Valley will do everything in their power to stop them. Great cut by Mather to get the disc. A nice high shot up. A lot of float underneath it. Epsom girls finding another gear. Berry with the foot speed necessary to close that one out, generate the turn, and give Epsom another opportunity. A very busy mark. Clark wanting to get that pressure, wanting to push the disc upfield. Berry and Clark. Sua now. Great cut there. Mark out of position. Sua finding nice, comfortable gains upfield. Still pinned down by that sideline. A low, flat forehand. But it finds hands instead of grass. Kept in Epsom possession. Great movement by Clark over Claridge to try and get that reset. Great score there. Fulton for Eggs pulls it down as they go 5-2 over Hutt Valley High School. still anybody's game. Great forehand goes up there. And brought down confidently, securely. Epsom to come down on defense again. Just remember, this is a game to 15 or 50 minutes. Grant pinned down on the sideline. Emma Whitlock, huge defensive pressure, but Hutt Valley break through with a big long shot. Langridge not quite in range for that one. Game to 15, the first team to hit 8 points will take half. Epsom currently up by 3, 21 minutes 50 seconds remaining on the clock. Both teams all smiles. Great long shot, good look. No receivers in range. Langridge quick to reinitiate, finding Gregory pushing towards the far sideline. Elliott now. Confident, looking downfield, looking for a great option. Gregory trying to get free, covered heavily by Whitlock. Sends one anyway. Botting nearly gets a grip on it. Finds Whitlock. Swinson leaving everything on the line, trying to keep that disc in Epsom possession. Emma Whitlock with the Dikembe Mutombo says, not today, not in my house. A great read on that with a good opportunity for Epsom now. And closes that off. A bookends a double happiness. A great block and finding fantastic position in the end zone for a comfortable score as Epsom goes 6 over Hutt Valley's 2. We'll see that again. Just beautifully threaded through for an open receiver. Some great spirited play by both teams. You wouldn't know we've already played 8 points of the game. Both teams look fresh, no sign of fatigue setting in. They look like they're just getting warmed up. A great pull from Emma Whitlock for Epsom. Some nice early disc movement, trying to gain a few yards here and there. Over the top. Espartero comes down with it. Bowen resets to Claridge. Great movement by Bowen to open up that space. Great vision. That cut developing towards that front corner of the end zone. Nakazona putting in a great run to try and close that one out for Hutt Valley High School. A timeout has been called. Epsom first to break after timeout. Hutt Valley taking a few extra seconds to really charge themselves up to reignite the fire that's seen them put a couple of very, very nice points over Epsom. Botting pressured heavily by Hutt Valley High. But Berry's able to pull that one down. Whitlock and Botting. Epsom finding great position as Berry receives it just outside the zone. Passes it back to Emma Whitlock. And a great extension grab. Called in. Fantastic work by Epsom there. Georgia Lewis for the score as they go 7-2 over Hutt Valley High. 1 point away from taking half. What a fantastic grab that was. We'll see it again. Fake to shift the mark. A backhand. Just enough separation. Excellent work by Epsom. The surprise on the face of Georgia Lewis as she realizes she's pulled that one in. 15 minutes remain on her clock. Clark sending a big pull. A little bit of edge. Touches down just outside the playing field. Mathers will take it from the sideline. A great inside forehand. Finding Dungy. Center field. Grant under a little bit of pressure. Langridge manages to snatch it despite huge pressure from Epsom. A great secure point as Mather closes that one out. The first and last touch on the disc for that point as Hutt Valley High School go up by 1. 3 points against Epsom Girls Grammar's 7. And that really is what the sport of ultimate is all about. The smiles on faces as people congratulate their opposition for great plays, congratulate themselves for great plays. Hutt Valley to come out on defense, giving Epsom Girls Grammar a great offensive opportunity to close out the first half of the game. Clarence with a great pull. Gets a hand to it. Oh, looks like a possible ground strip instead. So possession goes to Hutt Valley. Very, very close to their offensive end zone. Looks like there may have been contact on that play. So we'll see that one again. As Mather picks up, looks to score. Puts one. Clark comes over the top of Bowen. Now we've mentioned in a previous game that you are entitled to space above your head as you play. So it looks like Bowen will have retained possession. As it was a foul rather than a strip, the disc needs to come back in play outside of the end zone. Laser beam across the front of the zone. Mather to score. Excellent work on display from Hutt Valley High School as they narrow that margin 7-4 as Epsom girls look to close out the final of the girls division of the New Zealand Secondary Schools Ultimate Championships. But their grip on victory is weakening with each point Hutt Valley play to a complete score. A little over 11 minutes until we hit our soft cap, at which point we'll conclude the point being played, add 1 to the highest score, and our new points cap will be that number. It is currently still a game to 15. Great pull there from Hutt Valley. Huge chase from these young ladies. Fielded by Emma Whitlock for Epsom. Mather to put the pressure on. Pushes one out. Botting back to Whitlock. Looks like Hutt Valley will have been changing to a zone defense instead. We've seen a lot of great zone defense these last couple of days. Zone defense looking, rather than to isolate the individual player matchups, looking to occupy space and try and disrupt the flow of throwing downfield. Botting puts one up anyway. It's kept in the hands. Great receipt by Berry. Whitlock and Botting working the disc up bit by bit, creating those openings. Great cut by Colby. Hutt Valley with a fantastic interception. Claridge in the defensive corner. But Epsom retained possession after that throw. Whitlock puts one out across the front to Botting. Good open space available in the end zone, but Hutt Valley High School able to shut down that window for Epsom, denying them the opportunity to take half at this particular point. And really it's the determination on display here that we're seeing that defines this sport. Oh, foul has been called, despite great defensive pressure by Epsom. Langridge making the assumption of contact, making a statement of contact. And so, unable to come to a conclusion, they've given the signal, bumping 2 fists together to signify that the foul was contested. Players were unable to agree. And so the disc goes back to the last uncontested play. Gregory will have possession just in front of their own defensive end zone. Great work by Hutt Valley to work around the huge defensive pressure there. Langridge center field. Hutt Valley getting a hand to it. Botting to find Berry. Great touch on that disc. Great defensive pressure from Nakazano. Able to generate that turn. Langridge with a big shot going up. Excellent score. Possibly not in, but Espartero wanting some support. Looks back to Langridge. Gregory for the score. A beautiful point by Hutt Valley High School as they narrow the margin to 2 points. 7-5, still in favor of Epsom Girls Grammar High School, but it is anyone's game at this point. So Hutt Valley once again on defense. You can hear the rumbling in the distance of the tracks for the Hutt Valley comeback train. A big pull goes up. Clark and Whitlock back in that handler space. We're seeing that same zone defense from Hutt Valley again. Botting getting involved. Clark and Whitlock again. So we've taken a 1-3-1 structure for the Hutt Valley zone. One player to follow the disc around, 3 players to occupy that middle space, clogging up some of those throwing lanes, and 1 player sitting deep. Exactly as Claridge was hoping for. Trying to bait a big deep throw, knowing and trusting her foot speed and her ability to cover that space. Generating the turn for Hutt Valley. The zone is working incredibly well. Mather to start off the offense for Hutt Valley as we work back the other way. 5.5 minutes left on the clock. Claridge sends it. A lot of float. Espartino not able to get there in time, but a great chase nonetheless. Huge territorial gain for Hutt Valley. Clark and Whitlock starting off that same offense that worked them all the way there. Botting sends it. And reaching through time and space. Swinson's able to keep that one alive. Big swing across from Whitlock to Clark. And back the other way, trying to just power through that zone, trying to tire out that person on the chase. Despite Zara Bowen's best efforts, Epsom are able to keep working that disc around. Botting with a forehand. Fulton goes up and comes down with the score as Epsom Girls Grammar go 8-5 over Hutt Valley High School, taking the first half. 4 minutes left on the clock. We probably won't expect a long half here, but teams will take a moment to just check how everyone's doing, rehydrate, talk through some strategy. My name is Blue Monroe. We're here with Sky Sport, Stream Shop, and a huge amount of support from St. John. And we'll be back again very, very shortly. Hutt Valley bringing a huge amount of energy as they break the huddle after that halftime. Epsom to start with the disc, send off the pull, and come down on defense. We have 1 minute, 41 seconds left on the clock. It is a 3-point game. A difficult but not insurmountable obstacle for Hutt Valley High School if they want to take away the title at the New Zealand Secondary School Ultimate Championships. My name is Blair Monroe, and I could not be more privileged to be your eyes and ears on the ground as we see this clash between two great girls' teams from opposite ends of the North Island. A great pull. We've seen a lot of zone defense from Hutt Valley. Gregory gives the signal to Brick, so she'll bring the disc in from the center of the field. We've seen great zone defense from Hutt Valley. We haven't seen much of a zone response from Epsom girls, looking to instead prefer a person defense or match defense. Looking to isolate matchups, but Langridge is still able to get free with the disc. Puts a big shot up. Great territorial option. So it looks like a call has been made, possibly about a pick. So it's a non-contact sport. Okay, the disc has been checked back in. The hooter has just gone, which means we need to conclude this point, then add one to the highest score. Epsom with great offense. The vision. A huge grab. Heartbreak, audible in the crowd. We'll see that again. Great throws, a power position from Botting. Up. Huge effort from Peyton Burrows. Beautiful chase down that. Great separation there. Fantastic athleticism to get that high and get contact with the disc. But an opportunity for Hutt Valley High School now. Langridge making a cut up the line ahead of her defender on that far sideline. Big fake, opens up a lot of space. Sends the forehand anyway. Little bit of fade, but it's pulled down by Gemma Grant. A fantastic score for Hutt Valley High School. Only 2 points in it now. And as the hooter went, the conclusion of that point takes us to 8-6. We add one to the highest score. The game will be won when the first team reaches 9 points. A great opportunity here for Epsom to continue a fantastic streak of performances at the New Zealand Secondary School Ultimate Championships. They come down on offense. A single offensive hold is enough to win them the title. Hutt Valley High need 3 defensive breaks in a row. Botting, Whitlock, Clark, Brown for Epsom. Joined by Catherine Fulton, number 10. Grant, Claridge, Mather, Bowen. Great disc movement, nearly getting a bite out of it. Sends the forehand anyway. Great reception there, but there's a question as to whether or not that was called out. It's very close towards the back of the zone. A great put regardless. It is up to the players to make that judgment call themselves. Although we at home get to see a nice replay. Huge long shot. It's anyone's guess. A reminder that in the sport of ultimate, the perimeter lines are not considered part of the playing area. So the line between those cones If Fulton's first point of contact is with that line, then that would be considered out, and that would generate a turnover. Looks like they've contested that, and so the disc will return to the last uncontested play, which puts Epsom still on offense. Botting with the disc, marked by Gemma Grant for Hutt Valley High School. Clark marked by Mather. Whitlock and Claridge. Some great matchups here. Nice forehand to the far side. Huge pressure by Hutt Valley, forcing those throwing windows very, very close, very narrow. Generating a turn from that. A great forehand, despite a great swipe from Epsom. Mather sends one long. Claridge not able to get underneath it. Combination of the wind, the pressure, the defense, giving Epsom yet another opportunity to close out this game. 1 point away from glory. Hannah Clark to pick up the disc.
No line, Stacey, no line.
Whitlock with a big swing to the far sideline. Seeing great person defense here from Hutt Valley. Huge pressure. Grant with a fantastic interception there. And the stall count hit 10, so like a shot clock in basketball. Players in position for the disc have only 10 seconds to make a pass. With too much pressure from Epsom girls closing down any cuts that were developing, that 10 seconds ran out, generating a turnover for Epsom. As some of the older players tend to say, you only have to play 10 seconds of good defense. Epsom in possession, botting on the far sideline, 15 meters out from the zone. Finds Clark and Whitlock in quick succession. Goes over the top of the mark. Botting putting in fantastic work to advance the disc up the field. Great resets on display by Epsom. Good, conservative, safe disc handling. We heard the call of Chili O, and that is exactly what is on display. Heads staying cool on offense. Hannah Clark threading one through to Botting. Still about 15 meters out. A nice laser beam up the front. Fulton. A little bit over jump. The disc is out the back. That's going to give possession of the disc back to Hutt Valley High School. We're going to see it again. A great, great look. Crisp throw. Textbook forehand. Beautiful amount of float. Curving around to shut off the defender. Just a little bit outside the back of the field. A forehand with a lot of edge, giving the disc back to Epsom girls. Working through that defense. Great pressure there from Espartero. A poached D if ever I've seen one, peeling off the defender to shut down the lane. And the pendulum of Ultimum swings both ways as Epsom take possession one more time. Great initiation movement there from Hutt Valley, but the pace may have been a bit much. Whitlock center field. High release forehand. Goes out the far sideline. Langridge, one of the confident handlers for Hutt Valley. Some really, really great disc movement that we've seen from her. In power position. Faking the hammer. trying to shift the aggressive Epsom mark. Bowen to the big forehand. Clark sitting in the deep space, unwilling to let the game go. Another point. So timeout has been called. These young ladies have left absolutely everything out on the field. It's an opportunity to just catch breath, rehydrate, figure out what is and isn't working. We've seen some fantastic ultimate over the last 50 minutes or so. Two teams contesting, digging deep, finding new reserves, new strengths to put on display for us here today. It's a great privilege to be here. This is the last point Epsom want to play today. Hutt Valley wanting instead the game to go that little bit longer. Maybe swing it back in their favor. Emma Whitlock to initiate the offense for Epsom. For what the girls in blue hope is the last time. Great big forehand off the hands. Great interception there. Gregory now. Fulton gets up for the block. Botting sends the bullet downstairs. But Hutt Valley, a quick denial, a quick turnover. Gregory to pick up, along with Grant in the handler space, in that upfield space. And a strange sense of deja vu as Catherine Fulton makes another volleyball spike to block the disc, giving Epsom another chance. Berry to Clark. Whitlock, big far side swing, right on the doorstep. Epsom could be finishing it off right now. Great pressure there from Hutt Valley, applying just enough pressure to the defense to the offense rather, to force a bit of a mistimed jump and generate that turn. And a pick has been called. So again, pursuit interference through the avoidance of body contact. And Whitlock gets a hand to it, but Gregory keeps it alive. Catherine Fulton just putting up some numbers today with great defensive pressure. Langridge puts one up. Great amount of float, curving back into fields. Not quite enough, going out of bounds. The disc will need to be taken in from that back corner as a defender is considered in bounds regardless of their position on the field. And as they made contact with the disc, great movement by Epsom here. A big, meaty forehand. Fulton goes up one more time. And a forehand to close out the game as Berry gets the score. Epsom Girls Grammar up by 3, 9-6 for the conclusion of the final. Congratulations to both teams, but especially to Epsom Girls for winning the grand final of the women's division of the New Zealand Secondary Schools Ultimate Championships. What a pleasure it has been to bring you coverage of this game. Stream Shop and Sky Sport Next. My name has been Blair Munro, and we will be back with you soon for the Open Division final.